This is the saddest letter I've ever read.
That's what Rebecca said when she read it. She wants a report on our progress by tomorrow.
Do we have enough to figure it out?
Not yet.
I can't find any police reports from an O'Hannigan's bar from that year.
I don't think you will. It was never reported.
I decided that I was
never going to tell a soul what happened. So I made it through the wedding. Lots of makeup and champagne. A few days later, I saw his face in the Denver City Press. He used a gun before to assault a kindergarten teacher 3 days before me. They caught him for that, and he went to prison for life.
In fact, it was the last case that Tommy Boylan prosecuted before he was appointed to the bench, remember? But even though he's been in jail all this time, I can't stop thinking about him. And there's always Abby to remind me.
Oh, dear.
I thought 1,000 times about not going through with it, but I couldn't. Because in the end, it didn't matter who her father was. All that mattered was who her father was going to be. I'm sorry.
It's true, Michael. You're not Abby's father, but you are, and you always will be her daddy. Please forgive me, and if you can't, I understand. But I have always loved you, and I've been blessed to be your wife. Love, Melissa. Michael wanted to be in politics. Melissa calls the prosecutor, Tommy, as if they're somehow friendly with the DA's office. I believe that we are dealing with an officer of the court.
I'm gonna run a list of lawyers from the Colorado Bar Association whose names start with W-H-E, and then...
Oh, Wheaton, Weems, Wheeler, Welcher. Well, actually, there's 2 Welchers.
Rita, you really are amazing. You know that?
Oliver,
Yes, Norman.
do you think I could, have one of your yoo-hoos?
Of course. I think we could all use one.
Okay. Michael Wheeler, age 45, Deputy District Attorney, Denver, since 2006. He is a father of 1 and was widowed in 2004. This is his address. Oliver, I'm torn about this. This is an incredibly difficult letter to deliver.
Yes, it is.
I wonder what a difference sending this will make after all this time.
God only knows, Rita. That's enough for me.
Rita, how many stores in Pueblo begin with the letter Z?
Oh, well, there's Zip Skateboards, which is 1456 South Exposition. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's, 5614. I am so sorry. I can't concentrate.
Neither can I.
Is everybody thinking what I'm thinking? About Melissa and Abby and Michael?
To be honest, Miss McInerney, I'm trying not to think about it.
I am going to go get some coffee.
No, I could go for a large Americano with...
I don't think she's going to get coffee.
Yes, I'm tough on crime. And I have really good reason to be. Her name is...
It's my daughter. Her name is...
It's my daughter. Her name is Abby. And I ask you, what are the names of the ones that you love? The people you expect our city to serve and protect?
It's good, but don't look so severe. Dad, you have to smile when you say that.
You my doctor or my campaign manager?
May I help you?
Yes. Hello. I am from the United States Postal Service. I am conducting a routine evaluation of mail. How's it going here?
Well, it still comes in every day. Excuse me a moment.
Now, I thought you were gonna shave. Beards make voters think candidates have something to hide.
I'll take that into consideration.
Spoken like a politician.
Thanks for doing this.
It was nice to be asked.
So, what are you up to?
Not much. I went in for some tests with Dr. Ackerman, and Simon and I have just been
Tests. How are you feeling?
fine. Simon and I are studying for MedCats.
Simon?
Boyfriend? You met him and you liked him. Wow. Look at this letter. It's 10 years old.
You get lots of old cases.
No, I mean, the post office says it's been lost that long. What? Who's it from?
Nobody.
Okay. Well, see you, Dad.
Bye, sweetheart. I love you.
Love you.
Okay.
Now, how can I help you?
Well, as I was saying,
Sandra,
yeah.
I'm taking an early lunch.
Okay. I'm sorry. Wrong zip code.
I will kill him! I will kill him.
Miss McInerney, that certainly was a lot of coffee.
Oliver, I think Michael Wheeler is out for revenge.
He's gonna kill that man?
He said he would.
How do you know this?
It's a long story. I'll skip the part where I followed him into a cemetery.
Oh, boy.
Okay, anybody who doesn't want to know what I'm about to do should leave now.
Well, I don't want to know, and I'm not leaving, and you're going to tell me anyway.
Let's just say I am taking my computer skills to a whole new level. He's searching the kindergarten teacher's story, just the way I did.
How do you know this?
I broke into the City Hall mainframe.
Oh, wow.
And now you see why Washington hated to lose me.
What's he doing?
He's searching the DA's files. He probably wants to find out as much about Brackner before he kills him.
Now, what on earth would make you think Mr. Wheeler would kill a man who's already in jail?
I watched him read the letter. I saw him stand over Melissa's grave and swear that he would kill Brackner. Probably with the Sig Sauer that he has registered as a concealed weapon.
But I thought Brackner was supposed to be in jail for life.
So did Michael. Wait, it looks like he's onto something.
I don't understand. Brackner may be released?
It's true. Brackner's on his last appeal. But this time, defense says they've got enough for a reversal based on new forensics suggesting a compromise in the chain of evidence.
There's an old Illinois precedent from 1898 on material evidence. I'll email it to you.
Great. Thanks. You know, I thought you'd be too busy campaigning to pay attention to this little stuff.
Putting trash like this away is worth whatever it takes. Hey, you mind if I drop by and watch?
You're the boss.
But that's just not fair.
I'm betting that's where Michael's gonna do it, in court, at the appeal. Because if Brackner gets released, he'll disappear.
I don't like the idea of that guy walking around. But hey, what if he couldn't walk? You know, I have a cousin.
Norman, enough regulations have been broken already. We don't know any more than Mr. Wheeler, probably far less. Besides, what if we're wrong?
What if we are right? His daughter has lost enough already.
She has, but wait a minute. Miss McInerney, what was the name of her doctor again?
Ackerman. We've got the name. I'll just look up the records.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a game changer. I can't believe you found it. You're right. Someone has to stop him.
Yeah, but we can't prove it, at least not in time.
Oliver, you always say that we have to be responsible for what little truth that we have. We have it now, and Michael doesn't. We have a moral obligation to stop him.
We'll do everything in our power, but our powers are somewhat limited.
How limited?
Well, we have to stay within some pretty strict guidelines around here.
And, you know, every once in a while, when no one's looking, we push the envelope if it's important.
Well, I think this is one of those times, and I'm certainly not looking.
There you go. You heard it direct from the head of special projects in Washington, D.C.
It is a tempting proposition, but we are talking about saving a life here, too, actually. We're gonna need a lot more than someone looking the other way. We're gonna need full authority to pull this off, at least temporarily.
Why should it be temporary? Ms. McInerney, take a letter. Memo for general distribution from the United States Post Office, Washington, D.C. Effective immediately. The Division of Special Projects announces the reorganization of the Denver branch of the DLO into a
special task force?
Ah, that's good. Into a special task force dedicated to the delivery of sensitive letters, packages, and related material deemed undeliverable and needing special handling.
Rebecca, that's great. But I can't help but think that we might need a little more latitude. An expense account, flexible hours, travel.
Okay, got it. Said task force shall be given wide powers of discretion, fiscal independence, and shall report directly and solely to this division.
Love it.
I'm sorry, what just happened?
I just found my special project. And you guys just got promoted.
Norman is going to love this.
So, we're a secret branch of the post office now?
Not secret, just a very, very special task force.
But I mean, oh, wow, this is so exciting. We are like secret agents or superheroes.
We're gonna need a name. Like a real name, like the A-Team, or Impossible Missions Force, or SEAL Team 6, The Incredibles?
Moniker, some sort of unique designation.
Wait, I've got it. The Postables.
The Postables.
Yes. The Postables. Oh my gosh, we could even have jackets.
Patches.
Like postable patches?
I think you should draw the line at capes.
Yes.
Will do.
Patches.
Well, proud to be a postable.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, she's from Three Hills, Wyoming, if you believe that. It's a very small town. Her name's Hertha Lewis. Well, no, I don't have the spelling right.
If he had a gun, he wouldn't take it through security.
Sorry, just sorry.
I scanned his bank records. He closed all of his accounts and put a power of attorney into his daughter's name in case anything happens.
He did have an awfully big breakfast.
I'm telling you, he's not expecting to get out of here, at least not as a free man.
Mr. Wheeler. Forgot your briefcase.
Thanks, Anthony.
And he just got his briefcase through security without inspection.
Did I miss anything?
All rise.
In the matter of the state of Colorado versus Carl Brackner, I am prepared to deliver my decision after I have conferred with counsel. Please approach the bench.
Would you mind putting your briefcase on the floor under here? It's just that I'm allergic to leather.
I'm sorry, I need it with me right now.
Oh, sure.
Defense filed a motion to deny the 1898 ruling on material evidence. She says I can't cite a case that old unless I can prove relevance. You got any ideas?
Well, you could.
She's questioning relevance because it's 100 years old? That's exactly why it's relevant. Judges wrote decisions 100 years ago so we could hear their voices today. If we don't listen to their past, then who will listen to this judge's decision 100 years from now?
Yeah. Not to mention, the state of Illinois versus Preston cited the same case as 1989 and prevailed, upholding the previous verdict of 1977.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Who are you people? Mr. Wheeler, we know what's in that letter in your pocket. We know what's in your briefcase. And I believe we know what's on your mind. Believe me, I wouldn't blame you if you stuffed Carl Brackner into a blender and hit frappe. But we have information about your daughter that will convince you of the terrible mistake you're about to make. You must believe me. There is only one course of action you can take today. You must trade us your briefcase and the
6RB229.
that's concealed inside. Read the information, decide for yourself. You must trust us. This is a matter of life and death. Please, Mr. Wheeler. Well done, sir. Thank you. Sir, if we don't act now, you won't be able to save your daughter.
Mr. Morgan, I have been convinced of the relevance of the ruling on material evidence from 1898, and I'm going to allow it. Motion denied. I'm now prepared to deliver my ruling on your appeal. And after reading the transcripts from your trial, I am inclined to agree with the jury's original verdict of guilty.
Visitor for Brackner.
My name's Michael Wheeler. My wife, she died in a river rafting accident 10 years ago. I found a letter that she wrote, and in it she says that you were the,
I don't remember. People's relatives, they show up every now and then, asking questions. Mostly why.
I didn't come here to ask why.
You've seen the monster. So go ahead. You tell me to burn in hell, or you forgive me, or you do whatever you got to do to get closure. Because I got lunch coming up and it's pizza day.
You have a daughter. Her name is Abby. When she was 12, she was in the same accident. And now she needs a kidney transplant.
You can't make me do that.
Of course not.
You can't even prove that's my kid.
The test can. A really simple test.
Yeah, well, it don't matter.
She's 22 now. She's beautiful, and she's smart and funny. She has blue eyes. She's tall. Like you.
Nobody makes me do nothing I don't want to do.
That's true.
That is true.
When you have a chance here to do something good, something that matters, how many other guys in here get that? It's a simple test. They'll scrape cells from the inside of your cheek.
She looks like my mother.
Is that good?
Dad, you shaved.
Yeah, it was time.
Hey, honey.
Got your message, but why here?
Well, we need to talk. And, I wanted us all to be together.
Okay.
Oliver, what does it take to get you to let your hair down and let yourself have a little fun?
I will consider having fun, Miss McInerney, once my entire team is assembled and accounted for. That includes Norman.
He's not here? They're about to start. Oh, my.
Barkeep, may I have an Arnold Palmer? Shaken, not stirred.
Norman, we were growing concerned.
Thank you.
I see you dressed for the occasion.
Yes. I often dress for occasions. Rita, may I buy you an Arnold Palmer?
Why, yes. Please, with an umbrella, please. I owe you an apology.
I can't imagine what for.
Well, do you remember the morning that you brought the letter to me and Shane?
I do.
Okay, well, before you walked in, I let it slip that... No. I flat out told her that you'd overheard our conversation about you the other week. But I made her promise not to tell you that she knew that...
I knew. I know. Apology accepted.
Thank you.
And the truth shall set you free.
Oh, yeah. In the 3 happy weeks that I have spent at the Denver branch of the U.S. Post Office, I have learned not only what it means to be a better postal worker, but I have learned from these honorees what it means to be a proud postal worker. It may be true that electronic thought has taken over our world. I mean, we tweet and text faster than we can think. OMG. But a year ago, or perhaps 100 years ago, someone wrote a letter with real words and more than 2 seconds of thought put behind them. And we are living their future. There are thousands of letters, each one of them a voice from the past, just waiting to be heard. And it'll take the kind of sacrifice and devotion given by you, the honorees who have each received not only the Distinguished Service Award from this branch, but I am happy to announce that the Postmaster General of the United States has instructed me to confer upon you the highest honor for any U.S. postal worker, the Dark of Night Award.